Hi, I'm Nelson, and this is the Sir Nelson IELTS and General English Training. In this video, we are going to continue learning about how to write an essay. Specifically in this video, we are going to learn how to write the body. In my earlier video, I taught you how to write the introduction, the different parts that are necessary when writing an introduction. If you missed that video, look for it on my YouTube channel and watch it. After the introduction, you go to the body. Now, there are many types of essays. Some essays you are required to discuss one side. Others, you are supposed to discuss two sides. Questions in the IELTS usually have two sides. In this specific video, we are going to learn how to answer questions that require you to discuss two sides. We are going to be guided by the question or the topic, discuss the advantages and disadvantages of smoking. Remember, advantages mean the bad things, disadvantages mean advantages are the good things, disadvantages are the bad things of smoking. Introduction. When you're writing the introduction, don't choose or agree with any side in the introduction because you are required to discuss the two sides. For example, this is a complete introduction with all the parts that are necessary when you're writing the introduction. In my video, I told you to add a part where you give your opinion. Now, we don't need your opinion here simply because the question asked requires you to discuss the two sides of the advantages and disadvantages. So you remove only that part where you give your opinion. The rest, you leave it as it is. Synonyms. Remember, a synonym means different words, same meaning. Advantages and disadvantages. These two words have many synonyms. Advantages can also be instead of using the word advantages, you can use pros, positives, benefits, strength, merits. These are the synonyms of disadvantages: cons, negatives, drawbacks, weaknesses, demerits. In this case, there is no point in you using the word advantage or disadvantage all the time. Interchange them. Use the synonyms so they mean the same thing. Synonyms. The word many is a common word, but don't overuse one word when you're writing. Instead of many, you can use words like several, various, countless, a lot of, numerous. Practice 1. Write 3 other sentences using synonyms. For example, there are many advantages of smoking. Like we have seen, the word many has many synonyms, advantages has many synonyms, so there are many possible ways you can write this. I want you to choose only 3 other ways you can write the same sentence. Practice 2. Let us go to disadvantages and many. This sentence can be written in many other ways. Can you try to write at least 3 other sentences which mean the same thing? Use the synonyms when you're writing. 1, 2, 3. Practice 3. Write 3 other sentences using synonyms. Smoking has many advantages. Instead of many and advantages, you can use synonyms. These exercises will help you to practice the use of synonyms. Practice 4. Write 3 other sentences using synonyms. Smoking has many disadvantages. Practice 5. discuss the advantages and disadvantages of smoking. This is our topic. Now, can you write your own introduction, the one you're going to choose with your essay? After the introduction, we start the body. When you're writing the body, you begin with a signpost. A signpost shows direction. These signposts here, they show that you are going, this is your first point. First, you can use any, firstly, first of all, first and foremost. They all mean the same thing. For one thing, you are telling the reader, this is my first point. So the first thing you write when you're writing a paragraph in the body is to add a signpost which shows your first point. For example, we have what we call a topic sentence. After the signpost, the next thing is the topic sentence. This shows the topic of the paragraph. The topic sentence is the most important sentence in a paragraph because it shows what the paragraph is about. For example, on the one hand, that is a signpost to show that this is my first point. On the one hand, people who say that the advantages are more than the disadvantages give the following reasons. Now, this topic sentence clearly shows that this paragraph is about advantages. I want you to see that I've used the word advantages and disadvantages, but don't use synonyms when you are writing. You have to group. In the IELTS, you must learn to group ideas in one paragraph. But you have to show us that in this paragraph, I have grouped the advantages together. Now, those words can always help you. Now, first, you give the first advantage. If after telling us that this paragraph is for advantages, you give the first advantage. First, governments and people get a lot of money. That is the first advantage. The first advantage in this paragraph. After mentioning the advantage, you have to explain. Practice 2. Start a paragraph with a signpost, a topic sentence, and one point. Don't complete the paragraph. That was my example. Can you create a paragraph where you give your advantage? Smoking has many advantages. I've given mine. You can also give yours. After giving the advantage, you have to give the details. Details are examples. If you give examples, people will understand your point well, and it will show your ability to use the language. When you are giving specific examples, you can use these phrases. For example, for instance, a concrete example can be given. These phrases, they introduce the example to support the advantage that you have given. Continue. All these are expressions that can be used to give examples. Examples, you are adding details. You are adding details to support the point that you have made. 9, 10, 11, 12. All these phrases, they introduce an example. I've given you many such that you don't use one phrase many times. You keep interchanging them because they mean the same thing. Example. First, governments and people get a lot of money. This is my first advantage. How? To answer that question, I have to add details. Details, I have to use specific examples. Take China for an example. It is a very obvious case. Its government collects millions of taxes. Governments, for example, government of China, a lot. How much? Millions. Millions is a lot. I'm giving you an example to support my point. After giving the advantage, you have to add details. Details are in the form of specific examples. You must put specific examples in your discussion, because the discussion, you have to add details. Practice 3. Start a paragraph with a signpost, topic sentence, and one point. you add, provide one specific example which is well explained. Giving a second example. One example can be enough, but for people to understand, it is advisable that you give at least 2 examples. So to add, if you are to add a second example, you can use any of these expressions. You are adding examples to the first one. You are making your point clear. For example, I can give you a second example. Many Chinese sell cigarettes on the streets and are able to feed their families. Practice 4. Provide a second specific example to your paragraph. Adding another point to the topic sentence. Remember, the topic sentence in this paragraph shows that you are going to talk about advantages. You have given the first advantage, you should give a second advantage. Now, to introduce the second advantage, there has to be some kind of a linking phrase. These words are used to show an addition. You are adding a second advantage to the same paragraph. Words like in addition, you are adding to what? You are adding to the you are adding another point, the second advantage. Remember, the topic sentence says this paragraph is about advantages. Furthermore, moreover, what is more, for another, besides. You are adding, after this word, add a second advantage in the same paragraph. For example, in addition, smoking helps people get friends. The first paragraph, the first point was government and people get a lot of money. The second point is smoking helps people get friends. But the word in addition is introducing a second advantage. After introducing the second advantage, you have to add details. You add details by giving examples. So you have to go back to the linking phrases, of examples, choose one and put it here. Remember, English is a language of linking phrases. Practice. Add another point to the topic sentence. Remember, you have finished this, you add another point to your topic sentence. You put a linking word and then you put the second point. Give examples to support your second point. For example, in addition, smoking helps people get friends. For instance, in many public places, smokers hide and smoke together. As they talk, they become friends. Practice 6. Add specific examples to your paragraph. Giving a second point. We have finished one point, one paragraph. Now we are going to the second one. The second one, you must put a linking word or phrase. Secondly, the second reason is that we have finished the first one, now we are going to the second one. It should also be noted that these phrases are used to show that you are going to the next point. Practice 7. On the other hand, those who say that the disadvantages outweigh the advantages give their reasons as follows. Now, it's clear in the topic sentence that this paragraph is about disadvantages. So you give your first disadvantage, but remember, when you are writing, don't use the word advantages or disadvantages, use synonyms. First, give the disadvantage, give details by adding examples. In addition, give a second disadvantage and give examples. Lastly, writing the general conclusion. You have to show the reader that now I have finished the discussion, I'm going to conclude. You choose any of these phrases. This is the first thing you write. You have to guide the readers. For example, in conclusion, therefore, I agree with the second point of view that smoking should not be banned because the government and people get revenue and smokers easily find friends. In conclusion, don't give examples, just repeat. Now, in the conclusion, you choose a side. After explaining the two sides, one paragraph for advantages, another paragraph for disadvantages, you choose which one do you support. You agree with what? Because you repeat, you paraphrase the same points that you have given in that paragraph. Practice 8. Write a general conclusion to your essay. Then repeat the whole essay, introduction, the paragraph for advantages, the paragraph for disadvantages, and the general conclusion. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.